Hello, and welcome to the next installment of Cooking by the Book. Today is all about biscuits. I am making a biscuit recipe from Still We Rise by Erika Council. She is the chef and owner of the Bomb Biscuit Company in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't usually make biscuits, haven't tried before, so let's see what happens. Now, the great thing about this cookbook is Erika Council talks about the generations of women before her that have passed down this wonderful tradition of cooking biscuits. Now, it calls for 300 grams or 2.5 cups of flour. I like to use my scale because I'm kind of heavy-handed and I don't want to get too much flour in the recipe. I want the balance to be correct, so I am using my kitchen scale to get the 300 grams. Now, the great thing about this recipe is it also is very few ingredients. It's a lot of things you may already have in your pantry. We are going to use 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Baking powder is going to be the rising agent, and this is what's going to make the biscuits really fluffy. I just want to do a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and this kind of cuts some of the flavor that you might have from the baking powder. And I'm just going to do 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And that is all the dry ingredients that we need for this recipe. Now, a lot of biscuits use butter, and butter kind of gives it those flaky layers, and a lot of biscuits are folded. In this case, we are not folding the biscuits at all, and we are using vegetable shortening. So I have 6 tablespoons. Luckily, some vegetable shortenings come in a stick, so you can just cut off what you need. And I want this to be as cold as it can be. Leave this in the fridge until the last minute. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna cube this. Just want some nice pieces. I'm just gonna throw them right into my dry ingredients. Now, with this step, you can use a fork or a pastry cutter, but I just like the pinch method. I like to get the feel of it. So I'm just gonna kind of pinch the vegetable shortening through. What I'm looking for is I'm looking to break up the bigger pieces. I want the vegetable shortening to be incorporated throughout the flour. And as you kind of lightly pinch, you're gonna see that the pieces are gonna get smaller and smaller and smaller. You want to start slowly with the buttermilk because you don't want to put all of your liquid in. You may not need every drop of it, and you don't want to over liquefy it. So I'm going to start with my 1 cup, and I'm just going to pour a little bit of that into the well. I'm using a rubber spatula, and I'm just going to try to lightly kind of incorporate. So I don't want to be heavy-handed. You're not making a bread dough. You're not going to be kneading this. You really want to be light with it. You just kind of want to lift and turn. Still a little dry. Going to add a little bit more. And now we're going to get all in there because we are using our surface. If you have a kitchen that has a nice surface, you want to clear everything off. Make sure that the surface is clean because we are just going to sprinkle flour right onto our surface. Now, you want to flour your hands. Make sure your hands are nice and floury. And now we're just going to kind of pat this. So as you can see, there's some stickiness, but the flour is kind of sticking. The flour on my hands is kind of good, so it is shaping. We don't want it to be too shallow because we want the biscuits to be kind of nice and full. So we kind of want it to be a nice little shape. I feel like this looks good. I just want to say my producer is very happy because this could have been a lot worse. I've made a lot of messier things in this series, and for some reason, this has stayed right where I wanted it, and I didn't get any flour on me. Now here, she says that we can pull these apart and shape them. I really am nervous about that, so what I've been doing is I've been using my bench scraper. I want to dip my bench scraper in the flour so that it's nice and it won't stick. Add a little flour to both sides, just there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook. This is going to cut these into 6 nice sized biscuits. And the last step is just using a little bit of melted butter. I have a silicone pastry brush, and I'm just going to lightly add some butter to the top. Okay. These look ready to go. I think I'm just gonna go put them in the oven and we are going to see what happens. Hopefully, I'll have some wonderful biscuits to show you. Erika, you did it. You took this non-biscuit maker and helped me create these great big, fluffy biscuits. As you can see, the baking powder caused them to rise. The butter has this really nice brown. They just look terrific. They're huge because we made 6 out of that nice amount of dough, but these are perfect. I really love Still We Rise. I think that this is the first step, but there are so many other types and variations of biscuits that you can make, from butter biscuits to biscuits with duck fat to biscuits with jalapenos and cheddar. There are so many variations, a sweet potato biscuit, that this book will really help you up your biscuit game. I really give this book 2 thumbs up. I hope that you check it out, try to make a biscuit, and keep trying if the first one doesn't work out, because you will get it. Until next time, make some biscuits and keep cooking.